Hello everyone, this is Scarzig, and welcome back to another episode of Duelyst. Today, we're going to be hopping right in the ladder and playing some ignore all of these Starhorn lists that I'm working on. Today we're going to be playing Songhai. I have this Reva list put together, and I was sort of inspired earlier today because I was testing my Starhorn list, and all I kept running into on the ladder was just Magmar and Abyssian. So games were just coming down to Mecantor, Spectral Revenant, Mecantor, Spectral Revenant. I even had a game, check this out, I had a game where I played Flash, Mecantor, War Beast, Amplification, cleared my opponent's board. They ran away. I played another War Beast, cleared the board again, and hit him in the face. Played another War Beast the next turn, cleared the board, hit him in the face. It was completely ridiculous. I got punished, though, because in the next game, my opponent played Reaper of the Nine Moons, killed my Spirit Harvester with it, got a Mecantor War Beast. Then they used Keeper of the Veil to bring back their Reaper of the Nine Moons, and then that Reaper of the Nine Moons took my other Mecantor War Beast, and I got completely ridiculously wrecked. But I'm kind of getting distracted. We need to go over this deck list. We've got 3 Inner Focus, 1 Ghost Lightning, 3 Katara, 3 Mist Dragon Seal, 2 Azure Herald, 3 Phoenix Fire, 2 Primist Fist, a Cyclone Mask. I have a confession to make. This slot used to be Mask of Shadows, and it's only a 1-of, so I didn't draw it. And then, you know, after thinking about it, I was like, why don't I have Cyclone Mask instead? Because, I mean, Mask of Shadows is hilarious, but I think Cyclone Mask, on the whole, is going to be a bit more useful. We've got 2 Key Beholders in this deck. Really want to make room for 3, but I think 2 is actually a really good number. We've got 2 Killing Edge, 2 Lantern Fox, 2 Onyx Bear Seal, 2 Twin Strikes, and 2 Night Watchers. This is sort of the original inspiration for this deck, is I wanted something that could, you know, I was tired of the Spectral Revenants and the Mecantor War Beasts. Excuse me. And, of course, I was thinking, what factions, you know, can make best use of Night Watcher that don't already run Spectral Revenant or War Beast, because Magmar could make wonderful use of Night Watcher. You can use Flash Reincarnation and bring it out early, and then you can use all of your buffs on it. I mean, but it screws over their own War Beast. And I thought, you know, Songhai, what this will do is it stops rush units from reaching your ranged units, and by taking away Elucidators and Mecantor War Beasts and Spectral Revenants from the equation, then hopefully we can just pull out a few more wins, right? And then Night Watcher just helps us control the board with its force field, synergizes with Killing Edge to just get work done, eats a Dispel for us so our range units can do a bit more damage. We've got 3 Primus Shield Masters to keep our opponent locked down even further. This helps us get backstabs with Katara, lets us just chip at them with our ranged units. We have a Silhouette Tracer here to help us get out of sticky situations, just in case we do get locked down. This deck doesn't really have any way to clear the board, right? So if somebody's right on top of you, especially Lionar or something, hopefully you can get away and buy yourself another turn or 2 with the Silhouette Tracer. Synergizes a little bit with Cyclone Mask and a little bit with the Mask of Shadows I had in here previously. We've got 2 Bone Reapers in here, a Pandora, and 2 Spiral Techniques. So you can kind of see how this deck comes online in the late game. And yeah, I think that's pretty much the list. Let's hop on the ladder and see what we can do. I've picked up a few wins with this thing already, but I haven't played every single matchup. One important thing I forgot to mention about Night Watcher is that it, you know, shuts down Saberspine Tiger, which Lionar does make a big use of, or other factions, right? Just Saberspine Tiger in general. So it's very helpful for us. Versus Kaleo, I think we might keep the Twin Strike, because he tends to be a bit more minion based. Like this is a really good hand, but the Twin Strike seems like the weak link, because if I could get like a Mist Dragon Seal or something, then I could get like a really strong combo on my next turn. So I think I'm gonna try for it. Phoenix Fire, that's a bit more decent, right? Because my plan here is going to be to ramp into Primus Shield Master, but if, you know, if he just summons something like a Gorehorn maybe that I don't feel like dealing with, I'll probably just hit it with Phoenix Fire. Because, I mean, I've done some experimentation with Kaleos. It's just, I like Reva's ability to just develop Heartseekers all over the map, and then eventually your opponent can't deal with them and gets overwhelmed. I do have a couple Kaleos lists in the lab, right? So hopefully I'll show those off here pretty soon, especially since Songhai is currently in a state of flux, and they'll be looking to get some love here. Yeah, so that's really ridiculous. I think what I can do is just move forward, do this trade to kill the Katara, then Phoenix Fire the Gorehorn. That gives him initiative, though. Inner Focus. That doesn't help me either, truth be told, because I can't get around into any backstabs. Again, Mist Dragon Seal would have really helped here, because I still could have walked down and then walked up, played Primus Shieldmaster on this mana, but I digress. What is the best play here? What if I just equip the Killing Edge on the Katara and then just kill his Katara and then protect it? You know what? Let's make him work for it. Because like I said, I can get a full board clear, and then it just puts him back on the initiative. So this way, I get to at least deal with some of his board and put a really strong body down for us. Songhai typically doesn't run Dispel, so he's going to have to find a way to deal with this. If he has Phoenix Fire, then it'll survive as a 5/1. He still has to trade something into it. At least that's the dream. He could easily just Killing Edge this Gorehorn and then move it down, and that would just make me a sad panda. Actually, if he hits this with the Killing Edge, it'll still trade in cleanly. Right? Let me see, because Gorehorn gets +1/+1 when it attacks, and that triggers before it takes counterattack damage, so he could survive with 1 HP, I think, after that trade, because the Killing Edge gives +2 HP, which would bring him up to 5. Yeah, so he would survive with 1 HP, I think, if he hits us with a Killing Edge and then makes that attack. Okay. Again, like I said, Kaleos is a lot more minion-based, so I'm kind of able to rely on Twin Strike in this matchup. I'm glad that Katara was able to go face and then trade into a Tusk Boar. That's really useful for us. Our opponent's down to 3 cards, so if I can deal with his board, then that really puts me in an advantage. So I can Twin Strike here. Ooh, yeah, check this out. I can Twin Strike. And then that brings these down. Go into the Gorehorn like this. Use my last mana on the Arcane Heart. Then use Inner Focus on it to move back, kill the Kaido Assassin. Check this out. Ooh, this is clean. And then I draw 2 cards. Oh, look at that hand. I need Mist Dragon Seal badly, right? Because I can play the Key Beholder over here in the corner away from this nonsense and the Katara. At this point, Kaleos might be able to just walk away and play. I suppose worst case scenario might be him just walking at me and playing a Hamon Bladeseeker on curve, or walking away and developing like a Scarlet Viper, right? Either of those aren't too bad because I can still do Key Beholder to lock it into place, but with his Blink, it makes it way harder to play around. Oh, Night Watcher! Please, come in my hand and save me from the Tusk Boars. It's rude. So he can be cheeky and blink this away from me so that it's guaranteed to return to his hand, or rather, force me to use resources on it. I think because he's down to 2 cards that I'm gonna use a Phoenix Fire on that thing. Yeah, I think that that is the best bet. Is just to kind of starve out my opponent. And we're going to develop the key beholder. Even though I can't use its opening gambit, it's just super strong as a ranged unit. And, you know, this might draw another Tusk Boar out of him, or a Phoenix Fire, just whittling him down. Because I come on in the late game. I'm running Spiral Technique. I'm bringing back that old school fire. Oh, excuse me. I just ate before I recorded this too, so sorry about that. My wife made buffalo chicken dip. Delicious. Boy, you going face? What? Spelljammer. Let's see, that's cheeky. I could probably get away with hitting this thing with Onyx Bear Seal. I have so many options, but like there's things that I would rather have, because like Inner Focus would make this hand ridiculous. Bone Reaper. Let's just do that. Because then I can do that. Then Bone Reaper does extra 2 damage. Love it. Shout out to Dragall for thinking of this. Well, I would say this is where I got it from. I don't know if he is like the 100% progenitor of Bone Reaper, bringing it back into the Reva list. When I was casting the Snow Chaser Cup over the weekend, he really showed off it was pretty wonky, like, to see it, like, be broken out like that. No, not during the Snow Chaser Cup, I'm sorry. It was it during Snow Chaser? Actually, yeah, it was Snow Chaser. Brought that mid-range, like, control Reva list and was bringing the Bone Reapers. Really insane. Really gave me a baseline for this list. And it turns out that the one that's currently posted on the subreddit, I think, has Night Watcher in it too. So this really just gives a shell to work around, because I, wanted to work with the Night Watcher so bad. So in this matchup, if I can drop a Night Watcher, then, it shuts off Lilith, one of Lilith's main win conditions. And I also have, did I take out the Ghost Lightning? No, I think I have 1 copy in here. Because I've been playing around with 1 copy, between 0 and 2 copies of Ghost Lightning in this deck. Twin Strike's going to be really good. Basically guaranteed to proc that on Wraithlings. And I think I'm just going to keep this. Azure Herald. I could probably get away with swapping that out too. Azure Herald gives us some nice healing to hang on to get to our later game stages. Also, because it's a 1/4, has a higher chance of sticking around as a killing edge target. Suppose we can just do this. Just hold our hands. Primus Fist synergizes really well with our ranged units, of course. The Gore signals to me that this is probably a ramp deck, because Gore sticks around in the corners for you to cast Darkfire Sacrifice on it, and like Ritual Banishing, you make that early investment, and then it just pays off if you're able to use all of your sacrifice cards on it. The unfortunate thing is, because, once it appears in a corner, it's hard for it to get back in the fight. It's basically designed specifically for sacrifices in your cards. Ooh, Ritual Banishing. That's actually really huge for me. Even though he's sacrificing a Gore, which is like sort of free, like I was just talking about, he still had to use a 3 mana spell to deal with my Key Beholder, and I get to do things in the center. Let's see. Really want a Twin Strike here. Just, you know what I mean, to keep his board under control. You don't want Reva to get too many small minions. But the problem is, in order to Twin Strike, I would need... Man. So I guess what I'll do is just develop the 2-drop, right, so I can have 5 mana. I'll kill one of these Zixes to guarantee that the Twin Strike kills the other one, and then it'll just proc the Gore again. Like, I just want to make sure that Zix dies. That way his board is clear, quote unquote. So yes, I kind of dig this deck. We'll hold on to the Mist Dragon Seal. In this particular situation, I think it would be okay to replace it, but just because I was so thirsty for it last game, I have a feeling that I'm actually going to want one here soon. So yeah, just taking it slow, taking it slow. He hasn't gotten anything ridiculous off. And you've noticed that my opponent has, both opponents so far have like developed Spelljammers, you know, because they're desperate for card draw. Ooh, God. Okay, so one thing I can do is play the Lantern Fox here to get a guaranteed Phoenix Fire. That helps. I guess we can get away with getting a Heartseeker down here. And do I want to hold the Mist Dragon Seal? Yeah, we'll hold the Mist Dragon Seal. And do this. We'll replace Azure Herald as well. Replace last, definitely newbie. But, you know, Azure, I was thinking about it. I was like, hey, am I going to want this soon? So the Gore gives us a Phoenix Fire, right? And then just appears in another corner. And so now I can kind of send this Lantern Fox into the fight whenever I want to get another Phoenix Fire. That was just a cheeky way for us to make sure we get one for free. The Battle Pet, of course, acts before our opponent can respond. And this might force out another Ritual Banishing or Demonic Lore or something, right? Because right now, if he wants to do something like that, he can burn a few out of my hand. I'm definitely going to Onyx Bear Seal the Shadow Dancer. This is how things start to get ugly when you're up against Lilith. If she develops the Shadow Dancer and you don't have an answer for it, you just, oh my god, you get snowballed on. And like, I don't mind getting pinged out, because this deck is just going to come on in the late game regardless. Killing Edge would really bring this hand together. Develops another Gore. Yeah, so we're just gonna do that. And damn, we'll replace the Phoenix Fire because we're about to get another free one. Killing Edge, that's really cheeky. I was thinking to play the Key Beholder here and keep the Spelljammer from moving. And then we just move the Lantern Fox up and the two Gores move to proc it. But I could just put the Killing Edge on the Heartseeker and then just kill the Spelljammer this turn. I think that that's the smart bet because I don't want to overdraw and I want to try to deny my opponent. And we're going to move like this to guarantee this Gore goes for the closest target, aka the Lantern Fox. Do I want to attack here? Yeah. I suppose we better start working towards getting our opponent whittled down for Spiral Technique. Not seeing any Night Watchers, which is kind of disappointing, because I could play a Night Watcher, you know, to make sure he doesn't have Saberspine Tiger for the Heartseeker, right? Because that's usually the perfect way to deal with a Heartseeker that has a Killing Edge on it, is just to play the Saberspine and get that nice trade. Okay, burns the Phoenix Fire. That's fine, because it generated 2 for me. And that's pretty much the value that you're asking for there. And there's the Saberspine Tiger. Ah, man. And now with the Gores in the corners, it actually becomes pretty tricky for me to develop Heartseekers in safe spots. Oof. Okay, so I... and the Zix and the Gloom Chasers survive Ghost Lightning. That's really unfortunate. Spiral Technique, I guess that'll come in handy. We'll do this. What do we want to not move? The Gore, maybe? I guess that forces them to trade a little bit more into it. Then we'll Heartseeker. And kind of want to develop Katara. I suppose I could just miss Dragon Seal. Put the Heartseeker up here. That way we spread our forces. Makes it a bit harder for us to deal with. This is kind of spooky, actually, because if he has, if one of his last cards is Deathfire Crescendo or Soul Grimoire, then he can get a huge hit off on me here. That would be 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 plus 2, 4, 6, 8. Oh, God. This happened to me the other day where suddenly I forgot how to do math. It's 13, 14, 15. Right? I think, if I'm calculating this right. Double Deathfire Crescendo. That's lethal. Gee, his last 2 cards were double Deathfire Crescendo. That's so dirty. I mean, I can't complain, but... Ugh. That's what happens, man. You let Lilith keep anything on the board, you just die. I didn't put enough pressure on her. I think that that's really what it was. It's because I'm like trying to play the slow game, but when your opponent is playing like a bursty combo deck, you're playing into their win condition as well, where they have the chance to just gather up the pieces. Had I gotten a Night Watcher there to protect my Heartseeker and keep that 5/3, that would have been huge. I don't think that he had an answer for that other than Saberspine Tiger. So, Night Watcher, there it is. I think that we're going to hold on to that. We have, honestly, a really nice spread here in our hand. Onyx Bear Seal, good to keep just in case of Nimbus or a Mara Healer. Better to just have that than, you know, might need it later. God. Like, ramping into Primus Shieldmaster or Night Watcher, depending on how things go, I guess is going to be our best play. But it's like, I kept the Mist Dragon Seal because I was like craving them in the match prior. And now I'm keeping the Night Watcher because I was craving one in the prior match. So we'll see if this works out for me. Because the deck is sort of built around preserving our units from rush. I haven't really had a chance to, you know, really mess around against a Magmar opponent where you can tell, right, that they got the Mercantor Warbeast and they can't do anything to you. Yeah, so I think the best way to do this is going to be to ramp into Night Watcher. Well, here's the thing. I ramp into Night Watcher, play it here. It eats the Pax Force Field, and then it's left as a 2/4, and then if he has Falcius, he'll just kill it. The same thing happens with Primus Shieldmaster. So I think what the best bet is to actually take the Pax on the face. And we'll do this. Because if he has the Falcius, then he'll probably use it to kill the Katara. That's the bigger threat to him right now. Night Watcher stuffs Wind Dervishes really bad too. If he plays Rash's Curse, the Dervish will spawn and get exhausted. Any obelisks that he plays will, the Dervishes that they spawn will just get exhausted. So Night Watcher is actually surprisingly useful in a lot of matchups when you sit down to think about it, because when I saw this card, my initial thing was, Night Watcher came out at the height of Reva, Old Kara popularity. So everybody was like, oh, this is the counter to Saberspine Tiger. And everybody was like, oh, that means it'll counter Spectral Revenant Mercantor. And then, you know, Dervish Vitruvian is making sort of a comeback. So expect to see, I think, a bit more Night Watcher, because this really plays into slower decks. Night Watcher and Azure Herald kind of indicate a slower meta, since Archeon right now I think is the fastest deck on the ladder, and you know, Magmar has a really, really dangerous aggressive variant that they can use. But everything else is, you know, you can still play a very good mid-range against. So I don't think we need to go double Night Watcher. Bone Reaper. If only. If only. So this would be fun, just killing Edge onto the Night Watcher. But if I killing Edge the Katara, then I can just get this face damage in now, and I'll get to draw a card. Because if I buff the Katara up to a 5/3, then he'll have to put more resources into killing it. And so I think that that's going to be worth it overall. We're going to get this face damage and say, okay, man, you have to figure out how to deal with that now. Get the Heartseeker going. I like this. Yeah, so as a 5/1, he's got to figure out what to do. He can't do anything cheeky, like I said with Rash's Curse, to spawn a 2 damage onto the Katara. Bone Swarm kind of screws me over here, where it would kill the Heartseeker, but luckily I moved away from the Katara, so that's not as much of a threat. As you all know, I do run Bone Swarms in my Xerix deck. Well, that was because Reva was so strong before. They might not be, you know, a requirement now. I could probably cut them and slip in an extra copy of Inner Oasis, because I think I have 1 copy in there now, just in case I have a board, but 2 copies is probably best, because there's not a lot of AoE in the meta right now, because Blistering Scorn was nerfed. Plasma Storm you kind of have to watch out for, but that's always been the case. Okay. Okay, so this is interesting. This gets buffed to a 4/7, so it survives. But I don't care that it survives. Psychic Conduit. Wow. This card is pretty interesting because you take control of a minion with 2 or less attack till the end of the turn. And you get to attack with it and stuff. But he still paid 3 mana for that. Ooh, okay. If only I had 6 mana right now to do this Bone Reaper. Okay, so yeah, I guess we'll do it like this. We'll kill the Dunecaster, kill the Iron Dervish, summon the Lantern Fox, hit him with Inner Focus, have him go in, get that damage, cast the Phoenix Fire to take out the other Dervish. Then we Inner Focus him again to kill this other Iron Dervish. Then we get another Phoenix Fire. I'm digging it. Let's go. Let's go. I wonder, what if I just went face there? No, I think it's better to clear the board. Plays more into this this deck's win condition and the matchup, right? Because if Xerix just gets a bunch of bodies on the board, there's a chance he could have cast another Inner Oasis there, and then I would just have 0 chance of clearing any of those minions. And the Night Watcher's still alive, so, I mean, Psychic Conduit's really hilarious. I know it would be really good for, like, getting some surprise lethals. Star's Fury. Alright. So that's 5 mana to... Oh, wait! That's right! The Night Watcher makes it so that these things don't move. Oh, man. See, I thought I was screwed too. Even he forgot. Night Watcher is OP! Okay, let's go. Let's go. Would you look at that, my friends? We are almost rank 3. Playing 8 games is hard. Alright, but we are at 30 minutes, and so we will have to cut the video for today. Thanks for stopping by, and I will see you next time. You have a good one.